Today, we're going to talk about building a digital fortress right where you live. You know, your home network, it's basically the front door to your entire digital life. So we're going to walk through how to transform it from a potential weak point into a serious stronghold.
So let me ask you something straight up. Is your home network really secure? It's so easy to just set it up and forget about it and assume everything's fine. But the reality? Well, it's usually a lot more complicated than that. Let's peel back the layers.
And you can see here, security isn't just one thing. It's this whole ecosystem of potential weak spots. We're talking about everything from weak passwords, the one you've been using for 10 years, to software on your devices that you haven't updated in, months? Maybe longer?
And that brings us to our first section, the invisible battlefield. Your small office or home office network, what we call a SOHO network, is constantly up against threats you can't even see. Understanding what they are is absolutely the first step to defending against them.
First, let's talk about the technology itself. The actual cracks in our digital armor. These are the technical flaws in our hardware and software that attackers are out there actively looking for.
So one of the scariest threats out there is something called a zero-day vulnerability. Just imagine a thief discovers a brand new way to pick a lock, a way nobody has ever seen before. That's a zero-day. It's a flaw in the software that the good guys, the vendors, don't even know exists, which means defenders have literally 0 days to prepare for an attack. And this timeline just shows you how it all plays out. The bad guys find a flaw, they create a way to use it, and then boom, the attack begins. Now look at that huge gap between when the attack starts and when a patch, a fix, is finally released. That's the danger zone. That's the window where all the damage gets done.
Okay, so what about the threats we do know about? I want you to think about that old laptop or phone you've got gathering dust in a corner somewhere. It might seem totally harmless, but in the security world, it's basically a permanently unlocked door, just waiting for someone to walk right through.
This is the huge danger of what we call end-of-life, or EOL systems. The second a company stops supporting a device or a piece of software, they stop sending out security patches. That means any known vulnerability, any known unlocked door, stays that way, forever. Attackers know this, and they have tools that just scan the internet looking for these easy targets.
But you know what? It's not always about finding some sophisticated software flaw. A lot of the time, the easiest way into a network is through a person. This brings us to the human factor, when you become the target.
And believe it or not, one of the oldest tricks in the book is still ridiculously effective: dumpster diving. Yeah, I know, it sounds so low-tech because it is. But what you throw away can be an absolute goldmine for somebody trying to get into your digital life.
And just look at what they're hunting for. We're talking sticky notes with passwords jotted down, old printed emails, bank statements, you name it. All this information helps an attacker build a detailed profile on you so they can launch a much more convincing, targeted attack later. And beyond the dumpster, you've got all kinds of psychological manipulation. I'm sure you've heard of phishing, those fake emails that look like they're from your bank. But then there's vishing, where they call you on the phone, and smishing, which uses text messages. They might even just pretend to be from IT support to trick you into giving up your password. The goal is always the same: to exploit our natural human trust.
Okay, enough of the scary stuff. How do we actually fight back? Let's get into building your digital fortress. This is your first line of defense, and believe it or not, it all starts with your Wi-Fi. The tech that protects your Wi-Fi is called symmetric encryption. Now, the concept is actually pretty simple. You and the router, you both know a single secret key. That's your Wi-Fi password. And that key scrambles all your data into unreadable nonsense, and then unscrambles it on the other end.
Now, how that key is handled is absolutely critical. For a long time, we've had WPA2, and it's strong, but it's got this one major weakness. An attacker can basically record your connection and then go try to crack your password offline, taking as much time as they want. That's where WPA3 comes in. It's the new standard, and it fixes this exact problem using something called SAE, which protects you against those offline attacks. It makes your network way more secure.
Okay, I know, there are a ton of acronyms here, so let's just decode this real quick. Think of AES as the super strong lock on your door. Both WPA2 and WPA3 use it. CCMP is kind of like the old key for that lock. But SAE is the new, much more secure key that makes WPA3 so fantastic. So the big takeaway here is WPA3 with SAE is what you want. It's the modern secure standard.
So, to bring this all home, let's go through a simple, actionable checklist. These are the steps you can take, like right now, to really lock down your network.
First things first, secure that Wi-Fi. Log into your router's settings. If you see an option for WPA3, use it. It's the best. If not, make sure you're using WPA2 with AES. And please, whatever you do, never use the old, broken options like WEP. Oh, and while you're in there, for goodness sake, change the default admin password for the router itself.
Next up, passwords. Stop thinking about short, complicated passwords and start thinking about long passphrases. Something like, Blue Dog ate tasty waffles is way stronger and easier to remember. And this one is non-negotiable. Enable multi-factor authentication, MFA, on every single account that offers it. It is your single best defense against stolen passwords, period.
Third, you've got to maintain your gear. Those software update pop-ups that we all love to ignore, they're not just for new features. They have critical security patches for things like those 0 days we talked about. Get rid of that old EOL hardware. And before you toss out any documents with personal info, shred them.
Finally, and honestly, this might be the most important one, you have to adopt a stop, think, verify mindset. If an email or a text tries to create a sense of panic or urgency, that is a giant red flag. Just take a breath, verify the sender, hover over links before you click them. That little bit of healthy skepticism is your absolute best defense against social engineering.
Which really brings us to this key idea. You can have all the best technology in the world, but at the end of the day, security really comes down to the choices that we all make. The user, and that's you, is always the final and most important line of defense.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Looking at everything we've just covered, from your router settings all the way to your own habits, what's the single weakest link in your security right now? Taking a moment to honestly answer that, well, that's the first real step to building your own digital fortress.